Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Newton Classroom Podcast. Stay tuned.
Good morning, Deepak sir. It's a pleasure to have you here. I have Deepak Sharma with me today. He's the director of Rockwoods Public School and Central Public School in Udaipur. It's a pleasure to have you here, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
And I would like to talk about, since you've been in the education sector for quite some time, I'd like to talk about this short intro about how you even, entered education field as it.
All right. So when you say how I entered education field, I think I was born into education field because I'm a third generation guy who's into education from my family. So my grandfather, he retired from the education department in 1979. He was he has worked in different facets in the government, Rajasthan government, and in those days, if somebody has done masters and who've been into education department was anyways considered to be really highly educated. So we had a background of educationist. My mother, she started Central Public School in 1989. Wow. I was in school that time. I was perhaps second grade or third grade. I was there. So all my life, what I have heard, the conversations, what I heard is all about students, school, challenges of school, wow. Parents, and all these things. So I was always surrounded by these talks. So I think during that time, my growing ages, I think the seed of being an educationist was sown that time. And that's the reason I'm here. I've been actively into education now since 2009. And we have three schools. One is Central Public School, which is a parent school started in 1989 by my mother. And then we have Rockwoods High School, which is a K-12 CBSE school, which was started in 2011. And then the first Cambridge K-12 school of South Rajasthan was started by the name of Rockwoods International, which we did in 2016. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Interesting. I think it's fitting that I ask you questions about the challenges that the schools face now because you've had that history now. So when we're talking about technology and all the advancements, so what do you think are the, let's say, one or two challenges, the major challenges that the schools are facing right now?
In terms of technology?
Yes.
All right. See, first of all, technology is right now at the very initial stages when we talk about school education. But then at the same time, I would say that this is the future. So when we say that technology now, how technology came, first of all, so we've been trying our level best that how to bring technology to the classroom. So we had smart boards, we got smart boards uploaded. We asked teachers, let's make PPTs and start teaching. This I'm talking about many years back. You know where technology came into education? Technology came into education overnight during COVID. All the teachers who were reluctant, all the teachers who were not ready to basically accept technological changes and to bring technology to the classrooms, they overnight they became tech driven. Of course, they have put in a lot of efforts, but this opening up of the mind happens during that time, and that is still continuing now. So AI, I will not say it's a challenge. I think AI is something which is the future. Now, at a very small stages where I was speaking to the teachers just before coming up over here, and we were discussing about what are the AI tools. The most famous is ChatGPT, of course. So ChatGPT has been used by students also.
Yes.
Yeah. So the discussion was this, that we need to know where our students are moving. So now students, if they're moving to ChatGPT for finishing their homeworks, how to find that out? Yeah, we need to start thinking smartly because you cannot say that don't use it. It is already there. It has been used. Now, how to identify the gap and what to make you also start using ChatGPT. Yes. Make your lesson plans. There are so many AI tools. You can make your lessons very interesting to that. So this was a discussion which is going on. So technology, I will not say it's a barrier. It is not a challenge, but it is an opportunity. And this is something where as a school, we also need to invest on.
Beautifully put. And when you talk about the technology, the AI advancements, it is definitely again like a lot of effort for the teachers as well, because overnight, like you said, they had to get used to a lot of things. So a lot of effort exactly went into this, and a lot of effort from the parents side as well, to get them used to taking those online sessions, and that sort of kept on going after that. So now along with students, the parents also have certain requirements or certain, let's say, asks, right, from the school or the teachers, right? So, in terms of also, it also gave us a lot of exposure. And now parents, I think, are more informed than before. And so when the situation is like this, they're also looking at alternative career paths. They're looking at unconventional career paths. They're looking at sports. They're looking at offbeat careers, like it could be design, it could be photography, it could be filmmaking, it could be anything. So, what are the challenges in that side of the spectrum that you think there are there?
The challenges by parents to the school. All right. So, as you have put up correctly, that I have to give it to parents of new age because they are more informed than our parents when we were students. I remember when I was growing up, or rather, I have heard stories of my seniors where they used to say that their parents, they asked, which class have you reached? All right. When we were growing up, I had a batch of somewhere around 70 students in a classroom. And sometimes even teachers did not know the name of all the students. Yeah. This is not the scenario now. And this is not what is expected from a school. The class sizes have come down. There is more dialogue which is happening with the parents because parents are already informed. The power of technology is being useful for everybody. So when we used to talk that if you have reached 12, the first primary objective yours that let's take science, let's try to pursue a career with an engineering or a medical. If you're not doing that, oh, that was a challenge. First of all, it was really tough to convince the parents in our age. Today, when you speak to the parents, or today if you speak to the students, they have their buffet of options in front of them. You have mentioned few of them. For example, I'll just put it was I recently met a parent, and there's this number is huge, really big. So when we were students, nobody spoke about sports as a career. Yeah, sports was a hobby. It was a passion. Oh, you're a good sportsman. You playing good cricket. You can perhaps make it to a national level. So when we were growing up, we had this idea. Okay, I got a national certificate. I got a state certificate. I've been meeting parents of lately, which talks about sports management as a career. Yeah, I want my child to represent India for Olympics, and that's where he or she is preparing. I recently met a parent just 2 days back. I remember I can recollect this incident since you have brought it up. That the child is playing badminton since few years, and he's been doing really good. And he was at school that I'm preparing my child, and he's working really hard because he gets up at around 4 o'clock, and he has his full schedule and all. So, can we get some exemption from the school? So the mindset is that we are ready to compromise even school education so that sports can be taken care of. This was not the mindset when we were growing up. So I think this awareness or this kind of involvement is really good, and it is. I'm talking only in sports point of view, but if you talk about how parents are talking about coding, this is something. This is again. I think this is during the Corona time, and just after Corona, this picked up. So if you talk about coding, parents are very positive about it. That okay, fine, the regular school education is going on. What can we do so that our children are doing better when it comes down to technology? So it's a good shift which we can see, which we can observe.
That's amazing. And for uh, school to accommodate that, that, let's say, that window to give it to the student to go forward in the extracurricular and the area of interest, it's I would say commendable because coming from you, because I think this needs to be shared. And I'm glad that you've mentioned this on the podcast. Thank you so much for doing that. And also, when we're talking about again, the future of the students and the school and everything, uh, what's your view on holistic education, where we do teach subjects in the class, we make them career ready, yes, to be life ready, to deal with finances, to deal with things that are not tangible. So, what do you think about that?
So, if you're talking about children to be future ready, I think there are a lot of things to be done. And as a school, all the schools, in fact, because we keep talking, we keep interacting on platforms like this. And I think there's a lot of work which has already been done by the schools. So, when you talk about future ready, yes, there's a lot of work which we need to do on AI, because I feel as I've already expressed, that children already they are advanced, they've already moved on. So if you have to deliver to the Gen Z generation, which is technologically advanced, first of all, you have to upgrade yourself, because you cannot have that gap. Yeah. Otherwise, they will not listen to you only. So yes, the school has to be future ready in terms of technology. You School has to focus on the holistic development. Like, we are working a lot on the spiritual, mental, physical development of the children. This is something which we need to, because after doing whatever you're doing, yep, you need to have peace of mind. How to achieve that? So you have to work with children on all these aspects. So our chairperson, Mrs. Alka Sharma, my mother, she many years back she developed 8 principles which talks about all these developments. So we are working with students on regular basis on these. We have dedicated months on which we are showing different videos. We're calling different people so that they get aware, because of all these things. Because you are not talking only about career. You're not talking about only growth. You have to somewhere teach students that how to keep content, how to keep your mind at peace. So this is also very important. Then, of course, when you talk about financial literacy, you have to do that, because you have to create children who are global citizens, who have global tolerance. You have to speak on different parameters on regular basis with these kids, so that they're aware about things. They are empathetic. And I think if you're able to deliver all these things, you're already doing children ready for the future.
Beautifully put, sir. Thank you so much for taking out time and sharing your views with us. Because coming from you, like you see yourself said, like third generational person who is into education, day in and day out, you've heard conversations about education, students, parents, schools. So your views would definitely help the audience to understand what needs to be done and take it as an inspiration and move forward. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir.
With just one skill, the skill of lifelong learning. We as community of parents, teachers, school needs to see is the chance and choice. I think this is what every parent is worried about. Is the child happy at the end of the day? But then they are the one who are committing suicide. A school's and a parent's common interest is the child. This generation will not change. Every parent wants to become a friend of their child. The one set of parent that they have, mother and father. So at the end of the day, child is lost. And there is a dark side of technology.